Hello and welcome to the interview on France 24. Our guest this week from Sana'a is Tawakkol Abdesalam Karman, activist and journalist from Yemen, one of the leaders of the Yemeni revolution, and the first Arab woman to have been awarded the Nobel Prize. Hello.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming.
You chose to receive us here in your tent on the Square of Change, which is the same location you lived in before you got the Nobel Prize. What did this change to your life?
Well, in fact, this prize will change a lot. It will bring about a lot of changes in the Yemeni people's lives. This prize, in fact, was awarded to the Yemeni people and our youth for this peaceful revolution. And this revolution headed up by our very peaceful youth. In fact, the prize is awarded, and I would even say dedicated to all of the Arab youth and Arab women. I think this prize will change a lot for everyone, especially including the Western opinion on the Arab world, Arab youth, Arab women, people in our country. And in fact, it awards the youth their strength and how we want to build our country differently based on peace and love.
In Yemen, you are more known for fighting corruption, for fighting for freedom of expression, more so than for defending women's rights. Why do you think you were awarded the Nobel Prize? There was much talk about your role inside the Yemeni revolution and your activism inside the Yemeni revolution.
Well, I think this is a message sent by the international community to support our peaceful revolution here in Yemen. It recognizes our peaceful revolution again. Also, it recognizes all of the efforts put forward by our youth and the Yemeni media. The Yemeni revolution started a long time ago, in fact, way before January 2011. It actually even started in 2006. It began with a struggle against the despotic regime at the time, and how they in fact, the struggle was against, our youth were fighting against corruption and all forms of oppression of freedom. So we got organized, we organized our demonstrations, and they were peaceful. We set aside one day a week for our demonstrations, and we wanted to make sure our voice got heard. So the struggle really got started a long time ago, and as of 2010, the struggle grew and the revolution grew, and I think it has actually come in to crown the efforts of all of our youth and all of our Yemeni people. In fact, it's a struggle for the freedom of expression, for women to express themselves freely, and it's a struggle that's been conducted by people for greater freedom.
Mrs. Karman, you said that you were going to pay the full amount of the Nobel Prize to the victims' families, and that the remainder would be returned to the treasury of the next government, the country's next government.
Well, I dedicate this moral victory to our martyrs and our injured and our fallen, and to the Arab springtime, and to the Arab revolution, to everyone who, in fact, everyone who dreams of justice and freedom in their country. Now, about the financial compensation of this prize, I've promised to put it into the government's coffers. It's an initial step for me to bring back, it's an act for me, or to put words on an act, to put acts on a word against corruption. We promised to bring back some of the monies, all of the funds that were pillaged from our country. So all the funds of our country to come back, be it Ali Sahel and his cliques and his cohorts, but we've promised to bring the money back into the country's coffers. So it's an act on my part to lead the way.
Right after you were awarded the Nobel Prize, right after the announcement, President Ali Saleh addressed the people in a speech. What do you think of that?
This is not surprising. It's not strange at all to see President Ali Saleh doing this. We've already heard his speeches. He's already talked of he's gotten us used to every time we have some reason to get excited or to get happy. There's a diversion. He's creating yet another diversion just to say to the international community and the Security Council, he's saying, okay, I will be leaving, I will be stepping down, but it's really just another act of diversion, nothing more, nothing less. It's really just to stall.
Now, you are a member of Yemen's Consultative Committee and of the Yemeni Congregation for Reform. What is your link between you and the party?
Well, my relationship with this party is the same as with all other parties in Yemen, inside and outside of the country. I strongly believe in pluralism and political pluralism, and I think that pluralism is the foundation necessary for a modern country that we really want more than anything. I think that the Yemeni Congregation for Reform, in fact, even the Islamic movements in the region, not just in Yemen, because as you know, Yemen is 100% Muslim. Our population is 100% Muslim. But I think the prize that I've just received, the Nobel Prize, proves, if ever proof was necessary, but it shows that Islam is not obscurantism. It's not a synonym for obscurantism. Well, on the contrary, as President Jagland stated, Islam can be open, and that the Muslim women can contribute to a country's struggles and to building a country. And again, I can't speak of an Islamic movement. It's a nation, a single country, a single land. Don't forget that we are but a village, and the world is a village today.
Your father, Abdel Salam Khaled Karman, he is a former minister, a member of the Consultative Council, someone who's close to President Ali Saleh. Have you not undergone a lot of criticism in your family?
Well, yes, we had some disagreements, but I won't call them really disagreements, but just slight differences. Our father raised us to freely express our opinions. But that was within our family, where we had warm relations and in our family, just like all families in Yemen. But my father was afraid for me. He wasn't against what I was doing and what I am doing still. My mother was by my side, my husband and my children were all with me. My family gave me a lot of confidence, and that helped a great deal. And again, let me say, my father was afraid for me. And he wasn't trying to express disagreement with my struggle or with my movement. In fact, he was just afraid that I would end up isolated, and that's what scared him. He was afraid that I would be isolated and not with a small group of young people, without us rallying together and everyone coming together. So my father, once he saw that I was right, he, in fact, changed his opinion and came on board with our revolution.
All right, well then, in your daily work as an activist for women's rights, what are the problems Yemeni women face? What is the number one danger they face, and what are your priorities?
Well, Yemeni women face many dangers and risks, but the Yemeni revolution has promised to wipe out many of these elements, many of these dangers, I think. The first would be underage forced weddings. We've managed to make progress and limit this to a certain extent. And I hope that from here on, Yemeni women can take their rightful place back in society, to participate alongside the men of our country, to build our country. I think that this revolution taught us a lot, taught the Yemeni women and men a lot. I think they learned a great deal from this revolution, and I hope that everything in the past stays in the past. I think that from today on, and I hope, I fully hope, my heart, my greatest ideal would be for us women and men to come together to build our country side by side. And I think that we will succeed in achieving our greatest aspirations as women.
Mrs. Carmen, as a mother of 3 children, working and living here under a tent since the beginning of the revolution, how can you balance out your family life and activism?
Well, that is a very difficult issue, especially I'm here in this tent. But all the while being here in this tent, I see my kids 1 or 2 times a week, and every time they come here to see me, I give them all of my time. We have so much fun. We talk. Clearly, what they would like is for me to be back at home. But when I won the Nobel Prize, they were very, very proud. They told me how proud they were. They said, "Mom, you can't imagine how proud we are." They said, "Here it is, Mom. Here it is, Mom. Here's the new Yemen that you told us about, that you promised us. Here we are. We finally have it." So I'm very happy.
Tawakkul Carmen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you and goodbye. Thank you for joining us on France 24.